Welcome to my designer class. My name is Mercy and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today's tutorial I'll be showing how I made this cute grad card and how easy it is to change up the color scheme. The main feature I will be focusing on is how to make the tassel right here. And I will be using the baker's twine that was included in the March paper pumpkin. Excuse me. So I will show how by using a credit card or a gift card in this case, it's quite easy to make this tassel, although it is a little bit fussy. So start with a little bit of a tail and then you start wrapping, and I wrapped about 7 times around. So here we go, and it's now kind of getting a little messed up here, but that's okay. I got 5, 6. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, so I'll just cut here. And before I take it off, I will do a little knot on the card, on the credit card. And this is supposed to be far enough down that it'll be covered eventually when we wrap it. And I'll show that. Okay, so there we go. I wouldn't bother cutting it too close because again we'll be wrapping it. All right, and I have a little piece here, and this will serve to go in here, this part. So you just slide it off, and be careful with this part because it can be a little tricky. You want to make sure you don't do what I just did, which is let go of any of the pieces. So you get in here and secure this together at the top. Now, I just took some Scotch tape and close this up. And we will ignore that for a little while. The next step is to actually wrap this top. Okay, where's my end here? Oh, here we go. Here's the end. It's kind of gotten to be a mess here. Anyway, okay, so I want to wrap around, approximately around my knot. And I will start by doing that, if I can ever get this started. Okay, here we go. So you can see I'm kind of, I don't know if you can see that, kind of going around the tails of that little bit. And I'm just wrapping, and again, probably about 7, 8 times. So I keep my tail, and at this point, I just snip it and knot this. It actually stays together pretty well. It's not too bad. Okay. Okay, so there we have it. And one of the things you can do to cover it is when you have it done, to have this tails in the back of the card. So I will go ahead and snip this. And you could probably add a glue dot if you wanted to try to mask it even further. Okay, so this part is super easy. This is the most straightforward part, which is snipping your ends. So there you have the tassel. Okay, so step number 2 is assembling the card. I will set this aside. And I also wanted to show a little bit some of the products I used. I used this simple stripe embossing folder. And I went ahead and embossed one direction. And then I wanted to show that if you line this up really carefully, you can get a plaid effect. And I'll show that. I found this idea with Kelly, a stamp above, and I will link to that in the description below her video. Another thing, a product I use is adhesive pack strips, and this is really important for the sentiment at the bottom, the celebrate. It really helps. I want to show an example. This one I did not do that, and I don't know if you can see the glue still here, but it's almost impossible not to have some glue showing unless you use these wonderful adhesive strips. Okay, so next I will continue to assemble the card. I have right here an embossed red cardstock, and it's in 2 directions. And this will be my card base. But before that, I now need to focus on the hat, making the little graduation cap with this tailored punch. So punching this out is absolutely no problem, of course. You can do a straight punch, and there you have it. But we need a triangle, not this shape. So in order to do that, one of the tips I read about was putting a little bit of a sticky note so that you can see what you're doing when you put it back in your your punch, if I can speak. Okay, so then you just line it up and make sure you don't have any like leftover, like you don't want a flat edge. So there we have it. And it's just like that. So next step is to take your punch and then cut it in half. So I will show how I did that very simply. I just took this, again, this part is the simple part. And one thing that helped was to get a ruler and quickly draw a line. And this helped just to keep you on track. So you can see that cutting it then with your paper snips is quite simple. So I will quickly, well, actually I have one cut, so I won't bother. I'll show the next step. I found actually this to be a little bit tricky because you want it to end up in the center of this diamond. So I just put a mark, and the punch I used is a discontinued one that I got from Stampin' Up years ago, and it's a 1/16. But if you were using a thicker baker's twine, the 1/8 would probably be better. Okay, so there is one. And actually, you can do this at the same time, but sometimes it's actually easier to do it separately, just so you can see the circle better. Okay, so we have the punch, and the next part is stringing this through. I got that a little bit off, but it doesn't matter, it won't show in the end. All right, so actually doing that really, ironically, having this tape, it leaves a little adhesive and it's actually easier to thread. So it's sort of a funny mistake tip that I have. And of course it's not working quite as well this time. It never seems to work the same in a video as when you're doing it on your own. Okay, so another tip you can do is use your paper piercer to kind of do a jamming effect. But that's not working either. Okay. I guess we'll do the old-fashioned licking. Okay. It's not going very easily. Okay, so I'll just set that aside, but you get the idea. And another thing I did was I had dimensionals here before I put the tape on the back. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and assemble the card and show you what I did here with this. I'll take this off, and I will use my adhesive. Got to make sure I have it the right direction. It doesn't work as well if you don't. In fact, you can ruin tape runners that way. Don't ask me how I know that. All right, so here we go. I just set this here, and the next part will be just putting on the elements. And here's my celebration. And this comes out just so easily, and you can see what the backing looks like here. And just pop this baby out of the thing. Here we go. I went ahead and did this part first. You can do it probably in a different order, but if you kind of know where it goes anyway, it doesn't hurt to do this step fairly early on. Okay, so the main thing is you just kind of line it up and there you have it. And it's just that easy. Compared to gluing, it's so much simpler. Okay, so I have this beautiful day stamped out, and this is from the Love What You Do set. I will go ahead and adhere it to here, and I'll show you, oh actually I have some of the tear tape already attached here. So I put it right here, and the first time I did this after I put it down, I'm like, oh no, I need to do some cutting here. But I wanted to show, actually, I'll go ahead and cut a little bit off, but the final cut, unfortunately I can't use all three of them, will be done at this point, and I'll show you that it kind of works out real well doing it that way. So again, I'll just add a little my snail and pop this on. So here we go. I just want to, I don't mind a little bit of the flower overhanging, but what I don't want is the stem. So what I did is, it's kind of a mortar cut, I think it's called. I don't know. And I just snipped right here and there. So no worries if you kind of forget something. It doesn't matter in the end. You can just quickly fix it. Okay, just now before I push this down, I do want to make sure that I have allowed enough space. I centered it, and I have it not too far above here because I want to leave room for the hat. That needs a lot of space. So this is one I completed, as you can see here, and then I have little dimensionals. I don't know if you can see that in between. So you can actually prepare quite a few this way and have them ready to go. I will prepare some just like this and then snip the ends at the end. No pun intended. Okay. I will get this on, and then we will soon have this card complete. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I could definitely use more subscribers. I would love to hear your comments as well. And there is the start. So, or the finish, I should say, of this card. I will also show the other, oh, here's the other card. And you can see how easy it is to change the color scheme. I just kept with the gray for the letters and the gray, the smoky slate for the base, card base. So I don't know how much simpler it could get. And of course, we all have kids that are graduating from high school at this time of year, and they have school colors. So this is a fun, easy way to match their school colors to your card. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you. And I would love to earn your business. Please email me if you would like to order any of the products at mewants3@gmail.com. Thanks and happy stamping.